Hey guys, welcome to another ride in the struggle bus where every wheel is an empty triangle. On today's bus ride, this is the first one where we implement the Beyond the Basics rules. And before we jump in, I forgot to add a very important rule. It doesn't need its own video because the video already exists for it a long while ago. But on this list, I have no mention of Sente. But Sente is really important and you should always be looking for it. So I'm adding that to the list for the Beyond the Basics rules, where we should always be looking for Sente because it's very, very important. Anyway, today we are playing against a 10K on OGS, but boy, he is strong. He played exceptionally well, and so I think you guys are going to want to see how this game went. It's a very interesting introduction to our Beyond the Basics series with bus rides because he made this pretty tough for me. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. Anyway, as per always, I'd like to thank our opponent for playing us today. I'd like to thank you guys for watching these videos, and I'd like to thank my Patreon subscribers for supporting this channel. So with that out of the way, let's get into some Beyond the Basics bus rides. Okay, here we go. We are white against a 10K on OGS. He's there. He can taste it. The single digit Q barrier. Anyway, we will be focusing on the basics and the Beyond Basics. Isn't that exciting? I'm excited. Okay, so nothing too crazy here. We will just respond by attaching. This is our very common variation. Hopefully you guys are familiar with it by now. We will pull back. Black will most likely connect, and then we will just jump to F17. This is done to secure our corner. Black will jump out and take some good influence and potential territory there. So we'll leave this corner alone for now. It's considered more efficient to go after 3/4 stones than 4/4 stones. So we'll do that here. Let's go take the low approach, just so we don't get the same variation as we got on top. I like to try to mix things up a little bit. And he responds with diagonal. So in that situation, we're just going to take a base. Hopefully you guys are familiar with this variation as well. And he takes the very quick approach off of these two stones, which is a nice, efficient way to go. We will back off here because black already has some stones over here, so I don't want to get pressured too much. So we'll just do our standard variation where we back off, and black is looking to attach. So let's see if he knows his variation. I'm assuming he does. If he attaches, he should play C2 right now. We will go Atari. So this showed up a few bus rides ago, this variation. Anyway, we will Atari here, and we will Hane. You can connect or Hane, but I've been told to do the Hane, and so that is what I'm doing. We got the Atari, and then we connect. And so now black can either extend or take the stone. And that is fine in this situation. So we're getting a little tricky here. You're supposed to extend, and the reason is black needs to extend, and now we can play here, which threatens to kill these two stones. So black's going to play B2, and now we can play here and get the Atari. Forces black to capture. It gives us these stones in Sente. That's all it is. So now we can look at playing this, which I think I'm going to do. I want to make sure I fully get the outside. So I'm just going to take this Atari just to make sure we get some outside strength. And then black plays here. It seems like a reasonable move, doing a fine job of balancing corners and insides. Of course, there was a corner up here that hadn't been spoken for yet. So that's the obvious place we're going to go. We'll just 3-3 it. We could approach either side, but I'm just gonna do a 3-3, not going to stress too much about which variation we are doing. So let's see which way he chooses to block. Okay, so he blocks that way. We are going to extend down. Hopefully we are familiar with this variation as well. This is one that shows up many, many times. Black can extend or black can Hane. So black chose to Hane. We will Hane as well. Let's see if we get the double. We do not get the double Hane. So black extends, we will extend. Black will extend again. We will extend one more time. And black will extend one more time. And the reason black is doing this is because black doesn't want to get hit on the head of 2 or 3. If black were to Tanuki here, let's just say black did something like this. This Hane at the head of 2 really, really hurts. And likewise, if black Tanuki'd here, the Hane at the head of 3 really, really hurts. So black extends, and now we can Tanuki because we are alive. So we've got Sente. Where's the big open area on this board? Probably up here. And black has a wall that we need to respect a little bit. So I think we can probably play about here. I think I'm going to play a 4th line stone, though. So let's play about here. This way, if we get pincered, we have plenty of room to stay away from the wall. Because remember, we need to play away from strength. So black is also choosing to play away from strength. So we can go take influence, or I think keeping this stone split is going to be the way to go. So I'm just going to play here. One thing I didn't go over in the attachment video where I said you have to respond to attachments, that's one of our Beyond the Basic rules as well. We should treat diagonals as attachments. Because when we play here, it is like we had L17 on the board, and they played K17, and now we needed to extend. So black looks to run that way. We need to get some strength here. Again, we need to respect the strength that black has over here. So I am just going to move quickly. We notice the shape. There are potential cuts here, but we have this for a potential cut here. So it's like we have this shape. Okay, so black plays here. That's fine. We will play here. Black should play P18 or just connect, but P18 is a little more efficient. Black can also just Tanuki here. That is fine as well. So let's see what our friend does. Okay, so black does connect directly. But now we've got some stones here that aren't the weakest. Black has these 2 stones. So let's see if we can attack them. Let's see if we can do something like this and just kind of pressure these stones a little bit. Okay, so I mentioned that it's like we had this stone here. So we're going to play this because now there's a cut that black needs to take care of, and now we can go here. And much tougher for black to cut now that this stone's here. It's a little sneaky. It's a little sneaky. I knew this exchange was there, so I knew we actually had this shape. That's a little tough to see. Okay, so black is... not sure what black is looking to do there. So this is a little dangerous for black. It leaves a cut behind. So what happens if we take this wedge and then connect? And now which way is black going to block? Because now we can cut here. And if black had connected here, we could cut here. So let's go take our cut. And we will descend. And this captures these 3 stones. So that's a big success right there. Black gave us a cut. Remember, we always have to be assessing our cuts. And so now we can play here, and we have 3 liberties. This group only has 2. And so now we get to play here and capture these 3 stones. And our corner is still fine. We can play here and force the capture. So let's go do that. And black needs to capture the stone. Or black can extend. Black needs to do something to... this works as well. That works as well. But now we can get this for free. We'll go take this Atari. Gives us a little more eye space in the corner. That's the only reason I'm doing this. Okay, and that is fine. That is fine. So now we have Sente, right? That's one of the things we need to be looking out for as well, as we want to find when we have Sente and go and play that. So where's the next big area on this board? Probably around here. We have a very strong group over here, so we want to play away from that strength. So I think we should probably jump in here. So let's go play M3. See, just try to split this up a little bit. We can rely on the strength of this group on our left. Black plays I like this response. This is a way of getting some more strength before going after the stone, because we have to respond to this move. We can treat this like an attachment. Black would typically play Q8 here. That's just the variation when you are pressing down on these 2 stones. Okay, so black is doing this. We will note that there is a cut. But unless I'm going to take the cut immediately, I shouldn't take this push. I think I'm just going to attach here and see if we can get some strength through shape. We can play here because there's now a cut here and there's now a cut here. So black just needs to be a little careful. So now we can look at something like this because now it comes with an Atari. So the question is, do we want to take the Atari here and then maybe play this, or do we want to take the Atari here and extend? I think I want to take the Atari here and extend this way. Though with my hasty playing and not doing too much reading in these games, black might just win this Liberty race, and so we need to be a little careful. So let's see, what happens if we play here? Because I don't think this is going to work out too well, because we only have 1, 2, 3, 4 liberties, and black will have 4 liberties, and black gets to go first. So let's cut our losses here. It's important to realize sometimes when you've gotten gut that you need to cut your losses. So let's go play here, see if we can try to connect out, and this is fine. This gets us good shape. Let's just play here. Threaten to kill the stone. Black should not save that stone, and black does not save that stone. But this doesn't do too much either. But we messed up, guys. We messed up, gang. We let black get a much larger area than was warranted. So how are we going to recover from that? That is a good question. I'm going to start with this peep just to get a little more strength over here as I try to develop a plan. Black should do something to respond to this. That is a fine move. And honestly, we can just leave this here. I just wanted to see how black was going to respond to that. And what are we going to do now? There aren't really any points to be had here. There are no points for us to be had here, but there are some points for black to be had. So let's just go and completely undercut this stone. Again, we've got some strength here, so we can run back and it'll be fine. I just want to reduce the amount of territory that black can get here. Okay, and black falls back that way. We will just come out this way, and then we can play the Hane, and we can extend, and now we'll just see what we can do to reduce the area here. So black plays this move. I like it. I like this move. For invasion purposes, what we can do is we can draw a line between these two stones, and we can play somewhere on that line. So I think, actually, I think at first I'm going to play this peep here. See, this threatens the cut. Black really the only option black has is to extend or to play here, but either way, we're still going to be able to leverage off of this stone. So we'll jump out here and see what black does. We have these two stones to run to. We've got these stones. We can run out this way. So we have a lot of directions for this group to go. This stone can be sacrificed. It's important to recognize that the first stone that you play in an invasion can be and often should be sacrificed. So I'm not going to connect here because that leaves a cut here. We need to protect this cut. This is a very important cut to protect. And so I'm going to play here, which threatens to isolate this stone if we get the Hane. And black can play there. That is fine. The question is, can we get away with playing this? And I think we can. So we will play this Hane. And I think we can play this connection. And so that is what I'm going to do, because there's some Aji with this stone. Pretty crazy, huh? So I don't think black's actually going to be able to cut us off here. So let's see. Yep, and so black recognizes that. That was very sharp by black. So we will just play here, which will protect this cut. So if black cuts here, we can Atari and capture. And if black cuts here, we can Atari and capture. So we will just play this. And this looks like a pretty successful reduction. That is all we were looking for here. We were just looking to reduce. So now we are all connected up. Everything's fine and good. That's fine. We were willing to sacrifice these stones. Let's go Atari this stone. And we can play this as well. Is this big enough to play? I am not sure. I'm not sure this is big enough to play. So I'm not going to play it. Where are we going to play instead? Really, there isn't that much left, huh? there really is not that much left on the board. We can look at playing something over here. Yeah, let's just play this Hane here. There's a little bit of territory that can be gotten here. Okay, so now we have a crosscut. What do we do with crosscut fight, guys? Do we remember? Do we remember what we do with crosscut fights? We identify what our weakest stoner group is. We identify what their weakest stoner group is. We play a move that makes our group stronger, their group weaker. This is obviously our weak stone. This is obviously Black's weak stone. So we are just going to extend. We're going to extend our liberties. And then Black Atari is the cutting stone. That is obviously fine. We will extend this way. So this stone is dead. Hooray. I mean, there aren't very many points to be had here. What do we do? I think we just... Do we just Atari this guy? I think so. I think we just Atari this. This isn't going to turn into many points for Black. Not going to turn into many points for us. Though honestly, Black might be up this game, guys. Black might be up this game. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've lost one of these. Will the first Beyond the Basics be the one we lose? That'd be pretty tragic. Okay, so Black has taken this Hane. I'm just going to extend here. If Black wants to capture that stone, that's fine, because then we'll end up getting this this turn. And so we will push again, because there's just so few points to be had in the center. So even though we're being pressed down to the second line, like, what else are we going to get here? So yeah, I'm just going to keep on going. And this is fine. We will let Black get that, and we actually don't even need to play this. I think there's more points here. There's also more points at B11. B11's a pretty big move. Let's play B11. Okay. And I think now we can push here, just reduce a little more. Nothing too crazy. I just want to see if we can turn on some of these cuts. Okay, so that's a fine move. Threatens this cut. We're going to protect the cut, and we're going to try to get some eyes. So we're just going to play this little shape. That helps with the push at F19. Need to make sure we are alive here. Okay, yep, we were. We will obviously capture those 3 stones. I don't think that's going to work. Don't think that's going to work. Can we just play here? I think we can just play here, and it will be fine. So let's do that. And we can play here, because if Black connects, we can Atari. He's got the Atari here. Oh, does he get our stones? He might get these 3 stones. This is tricky. This guy's outplaying us, guys. Well, not you. He's not outplaying you. He's outplaying me. This is good. This is really good. So if we play here, that comes in Sente. I think we have to play here. But that might get these 3 stones. If Black plays here, we have to capture, but then Black gets this Atari. That is slick. That is slick. So we'll play here. Black's going to take the Atari. We are going to threaten to connect. And now we'll try to get something over here. Again, not too many points to be had here, but we'll play this just to get a few more points here. But honestly, I still think Black's winning this game, which is pretty wild. Okay, so Black Ataris, we'll Atari here. Black can't connect because then the 3 stones die. So Black will have to play here, which is fine. Okay, we will absolutely capture. Kind of a strange move there. Kind of a strange one. This is only, let's see. This is only a 3-point move. I think this is more than 3 points. So I will play here, and that is fine. So what else can we do? What else can we do, guys? So not too much left. We'll play this. This is a forcing move. We've got stuff down here and then this corner. And that's really all there is, huh? There just isn't much left. So let's go and take this. We'll see if we can get something like J2, but I don't think we're going to be able to. G6 is probably pretty big. Yeah, that was a reasonable size move. We can play here. Comes with a Sensei follow-up at T4. So that is fine. So even though this is Gote, the follow-up is Sensei. So It's important to find sensei moves in endgame. That is a lot of what endgame is all about, is finding the sensei moves. And if you don't have sensei moves, finding the large gote moves. Okay, so he finds a good sensei move. We will obviously capture. Yep, that is fine. So let's go take our sensei move over here that I mentioned. And we will play here. This feels like it's sensei because it has a big follow-up at M1. So I will play here. And now I want to play G6. This feels like one of the bigger moves on the board. This is only 3 points. I still think we can do better than that. Let's play this. Just for a few points. That doesn't really do anything. That does not really do anything. So let's play here. Yeah, that's fine. Those were already dead. I already given up on those forever ago. Okay, so we can play here. This actually comes in sensei because of the cut here. And so he does connect. And so the question now is this bigger? This is probably bigger. So let's play here. We'll get these in Atari. Black will capture, we'll connect. That was probably more than 3 points. And I don't know, this game, 3 points might end up mattering, so we will see. We will see. Black is playing this one exceptionally well. Can we double Hane? Black will get the Atari and then extend. I do not think we can double Hane, so we will go and play this instead. Okay, so now it might be time to take this. I think it probably is. So let's go take this. That is fine. We'll go and capture this stone. And I think we're gonna play all the way to the end of this one. I think this game is close enough. And honestly, I don't think we're gonna win. And if I'm gonna lose, we might as well see the whole game. This is some very solid play by our 10K friend here. Okay. We can play here. Actually, we can Atari and then go here. Does that do anything? I don't know. Atari and then go here. Sure, let's do it. We'll Atari. And then we'll connect. And let's see if Black lets us capture the stone. I imagine Black will not let us capture the stone, but maybe he will. He does. Okay. Hooray, we captured the stone. So now what do we have for sensei moves? We have... This kind of feels like sensei. It might not be. But if your opponent responds to it, it's sensei. Remember these important rules. I want this to be sensei, but it's not. So we'll play this. It does block. We have this as a sensei move. It takes some reading to figure that out, but look at how many cuts Black has. Got to pay attention to those cuts. So Black needs to fix something here, and he does. So what do we do now? What do we do now? It might be time for just 1 point moves. Okay, look, it's a 1 point move. We'll play here. It threatens to push in. This is a 1 point move with a follow-up at E19. That's something. I just realized that F6 is quite large for our opponent. It's big. We need to play F7. Look at that, guys. He's watching me. He's watching me. That is not cool. Well, we will at least go and take our sensei move. We will take our reward, and we'll go and play here. Black needs to connect, and then we can play here. Yep. We will answer that. Fortunately, this is... Well, actually, Black can totally Tanuki here. Black Tanuki? Guys, this is a 10K. This is a 10K playing these moves. I'm impressed. I hope you guys are impressed. I am really impressed by this. Our friend is doing very well. Okay, so he does answer there. So what else do we have? We've got this, which has a follow-up here. That doesn't work. That does not work. We will start the Ko. Might as well make him play 1 Ko threat. And so we can do this, and then we just connect. And that's fine. Yeah, well, we just capture. Not sure what his plan is here, but that's okay. He's losing 0 points because every move he's playing we have to respond to. Okay, the Hane we will play here. And this is a little tricky because black can take this Atari, then connect, or black can Atari and then push through. I think this is larger. So I'm going to play this connection. Black has this Atari at G1, which black should take. Ooh, black missed one there. Black missed one there. We had a free move at G1. We will play G1 instead. And now we'll go and play this 1 point move. And then we'll play this 1.5 point move because it comes with a co follow-up. And he did respond. And then we can play this 1 point move. It's all about the 1 point moves at this point in time. There really isn't that much more. We have this 1 point move. That's actually a 0 point move. We've got this 1 point move. We'll play that. It's a fun one. We'll connect. And, oh, this is a point because black will eventually have to connect. So let's go play that. All these 1 point moves. You guys have asked, Gabe, we want to see endgame. And so I am showing you all of the nitty-gritty endgame because I think this game's pretty close. And so there's no reason to skip ahead. So let's see where our friend plays now. Okay, plays there. That is fine. We'll play here. Nice 1 point move with follow-ups. It's all we got, guys. All we have are 1 point moves. Here's another 1 point move. I'll play this one too. 1 point moves for days. We don't have too much left. We do not have too much left on this board. So we'll play here to make sure that black does not get 2 points there. We will play here. And what else? We've got this ko. Is that it? Is all that's left on this board is this ko? That's wild. Well, let's ko for it. We each have a number of co-threats on this board greater than 0. Okay, so that is black's first. We'll play there. We will play this connection, which is interestingly a co-threat because now I can play here and get a point. So black should play here. Oh, black filled, so we get a point. We get a point, so we technically won the ko. Technically won the ko. This should not have been a point for us. I think that's it. So I'll see you guys at the end of the game in like 10 seconds, but we're still going to skip to it. Okay, so here we are at the end of the game, which totally didn't happen like 30 seconds after the last time you saw me. And we got there, but boy, this was a close one. And black was leading for a really good portion of the game and was leading by a good amount. Black played exceptionally well here. So it's almost a little laughable for me to go and do a review to say where black could have done better, because black did play this very, very well. But let's take a look at the reviews to see where things could have gone better. Okay, so here we are at the beginning of the game. Everything goes pretty straightforward here, nothing too crazy. Once black played this move, I had a good feeling that he was a pretty solid player, because this is a difficult move to play off of these stones for newer players, and so he certainly is not a newer player. And then especially once he did this Joseki, I knew that he was going to be a fairly strong opponent. So this is all fine. This seems a little slow. One of the reasons that we play this variation here is that these two stones are very, very strong. It's very difficult to attack these stones. So we really don't need to defend them with a move like this. And we really don't need to build any territory here either. In terms of territory, right, if we're looking for more bang for our buck, we still have a corner that's open, right? So black could play this, or black could play here with the intent of trying to develop this. But as black, I probably would have played R14 here. But this is certainly not a bad move. It's just a little inefficient. So we jump in the corner, and black blocks this way, perfectly fine. Nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with this. I play here, and I don't dislike this move. I think it's okay. I think it probably would have been better if black had played either J17 or J16, because playing this is a form of an attachment to L16. And I think we can say that L16, it certainly isn't a strong stone. Could be classified as a weak stone, I'm not so sure. But it is pretty close to black strength. It's also close to white strength. I think this was a fine spot to play this. Maybe K16 would have been a little better. Maybe we needed to play that much farther away from black strength. But either way, with black playing here, it forces us to get a little stronger, right? This is, again, we can treat this as an attachment, because if we play here, it's like we had played L17 and then black played K17, which is an attachment to a weak stone, and then we extended, right? It's the same shape there. We could have also looked at this, and in hindsight, this probably would have been better for me to play this. And since I like playing with influence, and so this was a more natural move for me, but I wanted to play this way, and then black plays this, and we jumped out. And you did see it later in the game. This is a shape that pops up a lot, and it's important to know that normally, right, like normally we know that this can be cut, right, and there's not too much we can do about it. But with this shape, what's important to know is we always have this move here which threatens the cut to kill this stone. So when we play here, if black tries something like this, the first move we play is this, which threatens to kill this. So black's going to connect, and now we can do this. And black can't get away with this cut because this ladder works for us. So black plays here. Perfectly fine move. Connection is fine. I'm used to seeing this. This is called the scorpion shape, but this is fine as well. But then, you know, it left his stones a little in trouble. And so here, you know, here we were in good shape once we captured this. And this left black in trouble. So I think instead of taking the exchange on the corner, black probably should have just jumped out, either with 1 point or, you know, two space or 1 space extension, something to help these stones out. I think that would have been a little better, because this ending in Gote for black isn't that good. I almost expected black to Tanuki here and come back, because this isn't a big deal. If white takes this, black gets Sente again, or can just fix this. By the way, losing Sente here hurt a little bit, obviously. This was probably really the only big mistake that black made this game, honestly. So black did well here, forced the capture, and then did this. I think it's probably cleaner just to capture here. The reason is this still leaves some forcing moves later, because we can play here, and now we can connect under, right? So black needs to play here, and black wouldn't have had to play this if black had captured here. If black captures here and I do this, black's just going to Tanuki. Black doesn't really need to connect under. So just a small thing there. I think black handled this really well. Again, normally after black does this, black's going to play here, white's going to wedge, black Ataris, and then black connects whichever they think is whichever cut they think is more important. In this case, I would probably connect this. This isn't that big of a deal. You know, if white wants to go this way, now all of a sudden this stone looks very, very unhappy. So I think black could have made that exchange, but even making the one exchange then doing this was fine. This got us, I mean, black ended up killing us here. Here, I probably should have just played here. You know, I mention a lot of times, this was our big mistake of the game. I say our. You're with me here, guys. I think this was our big mistake of the game. I mention a lot, and the next video I'm going to do is going to be, I say this a lot, but I am hoping to do it, a basics on invasions. And one of the big rules for invasions is the first stone that you play, you should be willing to sacrifice it. Almost more than willing to sacrifice. You should almost plan on sacrificing it. Because here, black's probably going to play this. We threaten to connect, and black can play here. We can even get this Atari, and then this Atari, and then we can even jump out. Or we can get this, which comes in Sente, and black has to come here, and now we can connect. And so maybe these 3 stones are in a lot of trouble here, or we can just keep it simple and take this and jump. And if black wants to take this cut, that's fine. I think this would still be successful. But honestly, I do think that playing here and then here would probably be problematic enough. And so yeah, we give up this stone, but look at how much strength we get. These 3 stones are now in trouble. This would have been the way for us to go, but we messed it up. We got a little too greedy, and then realized that black had us here, and so we just played away, and black handled this well. Here, black had Sente, right? We always need to be looking for Sente, and I think black had Sente here and kind of squandered that. Black could have looked at playing a move like this to try to weaken these 2 stones. Black could have looked at a move like this, or maybe even doing something like this to try to build up a Moyo here. This is not small though, right? Because it does reinforce the corner. So it's hard to say, but this one just felt a little small, but it's really not that small. So okay, we played here, just forced a response, and then went and took the left side because it seemed the biggest. This all seems fine by black, and I like this response. Just for whatever reason, this feels a little better, but this is perfectly fine. It leaves more room here, and we were able to take advantage of that. I like that black did not just answer like this, right? When our opponents peep us, we want to find the most efficient way to answer. Because in this case, playing here, white can't take the cut now because the stones die. So this was a good response, and we were able to jump out. And then we probably got a little greedy here. Maybe we should have just connected, but this is just as difficult as a move to deal with. From a shape standpoint, I liked this, and then again, we are clearly invading here. We need to be willing to give up stones. So I'm certainly not going to protect this cut. And so I took this Hane, and black took the cut. That is fine. And here, I started to get a little nervous, but fortunately I was able to do some reading. Because it looks like black can cut us here, right? If black goes here and we do this, black gets to cut. But then we can play here and the 4 stones die. Or similarly, if black goes here and we cut, it's the same thing. So black recognized that and captured the stone. And I should have recognized that once this was not that I did recognize it. Not that I really didn't have time to do anything about it. I was immediately aware that F19 was no longer an Atari, right? So if black pushes through, it's a pain, which is, we ended up losing those 3 stones. So we go and make sure that we connect. We're connected now. And then we go and take our Atari. I'm unsure about this cut. I wonder if just the Hane would have been better, but honestly, this is fine because he played it with the intention of giving up the stone anyway. So that worked out fine. This is fine. I do think this turn is bigger, right? We are at the phase where we're getting into endgame here, and we need to be looking for the large moves. H5 is still just a really difficult move to answer. If we play here. Now all of a sudden, these 2 stones are at risk of dying because if we can't Atari, because then we need to come back and connect, and then black can just play here and connect, and now are these 4 stones dead? And so we can't really do that. And if we play here, it's just as bad. Black can play here and threaten to connect. Black can take this Hane. I think I would probably do this as black. Because white can't play here because then we get the Atari into this Atari, and it's all bad. It's all bad. So I think that probably would have been a pretty big Tsuji that black could have found, or just taking this turn. I think this is a little bigger as well because we were able to get a few more points here, and black really didn't get too much because this came in Gote for black. And from here on out, I think this is probably about where. Whatever lead black had, white started, slowly chipping it away, and you kind of saw, in the end game how that happened. Though black did play the end game really well, especially with here. This was really slick. This was really, really slick by our opponent. I didn't see it at first, and then he caught me on the silly move of D19. I think was the one I did. I played here, and I was talking about. Like the second I played this, I was like, oh, F7 for us is really big, and F6 for him is really big, and he played it immediately. So yeah, no, he did a fantastic job. So kudos to our opponent. I was getting a little worried, not gonna lie. And in between some of the moves, I was turning on Score Estimator to see where we were at, and we all know that OGS's Score Estimator is a little inaccurate. But yeah, for a good portion of the end game, it was saying like that we were up by like between 0 and 1 points, and so I was like, oh, this game's gonna be really close. But luckily we were able to eke out a little bit more there. But it was an interesting one, and so an interesting first game for our Beyond the Basics. I was hoping for a little bit of an easier one. For it's funny, for this game I actually I decreased the range because I keep on playing against 9 and 10k opponents, and I am trying to get this back to double digit Q. So I made it so 9k couldn't join, and of course we get a 10k. He's like, oh, it should be fine, and then he just played hard. He played hard. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I enjoyed this one. That is where we'll leave this. Anyway, thank you guys for coming out for another ride in the Struggle Bus. Where everybody else in the triangle. Have a good one, guys.